Hello, my name is Kaylin. Recently, I was harassed by a stranger right inside my own house. I live with my parents. In the summer, after the senior year graduation has finished, I and my friends went to the mountain to go camping together. At that night, I was busy with arranging my clothes in my suitcase and preparing necessary tools for the camping the next day. My room's window has not been shut yet. At that time was late night, but I saw that there was a hand sticking in through my room window. The room lacked of light. Behind the door is a dark night. That hand looked so horrible. I tried to maintain my composure and convinced myself that it was just a child's joke. When I slowly walked to the window to check, the arm disappeared as if there was nothing happened. I could not even hear any movement. It made me even more panicked. I screamed and asked my parents to come and help me. They ran from my bedroom to me. I told them about that mysterious arm. Their face showed unbelievable expressions. Finally, we decided to call the police to investigate. The police, after patrolling the garden, could still not find any trace. While I was bewildered looking towards the surrounding greenery, I could feel eyes watching me. Suddenly, from a tree with a tall figure lurking behind and looked at me in a strange way. Then the intruder immediately fled in the dark. I just barely screamed. Everyone, including the police, when I heard my voice, rushed over. I told them about the shadow hiding behind the tree. They went there to check, but still there was no trace. A few minutes later, the police left and reminded us about the safety of family members. It happened so suddenly. I was still going to continue to the camp because I thought it might be unsafe at home right now. Maybe I would hang out with my friends longer than our first plan. The area where we camped is quite pristine. To make the farewell event has many memories, so we chose this location. The wild will makes the whole team feel more excited, but I still felt insecure. Felt like that pervert could always follow me. At the camping night, we had a great party, and the whole group laughed with the others by the red fireplace. Suddenly, there was a hand from behind hugging my waist. I was startled and turned around, but there was no one. My friends were very crowded. It was dark, so it was hard to see who had mixed in. I was extremely insecure and tried to stand near my close friends to feel safe. After the party, I went to my tent to sleep. Everyone prepared their own tent. I did not have the habit of sleeping with anyone, so they did not want to bother me. But that moment was the nightmare of my life. Somehow, after I woke up, there was a man who hugged me the whole time. He was quite tall, dressed in a ghostly black outfit. It was so disgusting. I screamed and chased him away. I tried to see who it was, but I could not realize who he was because that guy wore a full face mask. In just a minute, he disappeared into the forest. My friends, after waking up, hurried to ask me what had happened. I told them, but the frustrating thing was that they thought I was delusional. My memorable holiday as my illusion had been destroyed by a pervert. I came home and lived for a time, but still that mystery hand followed me for the whole month. Finally, I decided to ask my parents to live separated. This new home was very comfortable. When I moved to this place to live for a while, the strange phenomena appeared. The parking place of the building is quite hidden. I often come home from work late at night, so the best parking slot is basically occupied by others. Every morning I go to work and I always get a rose. It would be nothing if that crazy guy did not break my car's windshield glass. Nothing lost inside, maybe smashing someone else's car just for the purpose of giving flowers. This is crazy. Not only the car glass, but also the tires were punctured. That perverted guy was becoming increasingly far to pervert. He did not give roses, but instead, he gave me underwear, sweets that I like, and other miscellaneous things. Once he left a love letter of confession. His honeyed words made me feel nauseous. I found out that among the clothes I washed in the public laundry area, something was missing. Mostly my underwear. I can be sure it was that pervert who took them. I was harassed for a while, although he occasionally did that, but it was always making me scared because I did not know if he would do anything more terrifying later. And so I sold the house back to a friend and moved to Brenna's house. She was my middle school friend. Having just moved to Brenna's apartment for a while, she told me the good news that she had a boyfriend. I did not want to speak ill of Brenna, but since she was a kid, no one dared to confess their love with her. Her looks lacked a vitality and was too simplistic. But she introduced her boyfriend as a prince. She took her boyfriend home to hang out. He is actually the type of person that everyone loves. The problem is that both are not good at all. Brenna said that she had never met anyone as good as Robert. Being loved for the first time, so with Brenna, Robert was like her dream idol. But I have to tell you that the moment I met Robert, there was a very familiar feeling. Those eyes are very much like the perverts when sleeping with me in the camping trip. Those blue eyes cannot be wrong. Sometime later, I felt that he was very strange. I created a virtual Facebook account to track that pervert, but apart from the photos and a little bit of personal information, I have no more clues what he came from. Brenna's friends and I always try to talk and advise Brenna to leave him, afraid that he is using her, not loving Brenna. Of course, I knew her friends just wanted to win Brenna's boyfriend, and I really wanted her to be safe. Brenna was annoyed with our advice and walked away. I really cannot stand with this arbitrary. He came to our apartment even without Brenna. She volunteered to give the room key to Robert. I always felt insecure and scared when I looked into those eyes. I have been trying to get out of the house for a long time. Other than going back home to sleep and taking a bath, most I am not at home. But in the end, I am still failed to escape. It was late at night, but he was still in our apartment. He watched television and drank some beer and some light snacks. I quickly grabbed a bottle of beer and a pack of food from the table and brought them to my room. About 30 minutes later, he knocked on my door and hoped we could talk with each other so that we can be better to understand each other. I could not refuse his sincerity. Brenna has late night shift and has not returned yet. I patiently watched TV with him and tried not to notice him. But when I turned to him, he was looking at me with hot eyes, like he was restraining and lusting for something. He had a very disgusting smile. I asked him what happened, but he did not answer and kept watching the movie. I felt scared and walked back to my room. A few days later, I returned to the apartment to find a bouquet of fresh flowers and a card. I was curious and went to the table to open the card to see. The handwriting of the card made me feel tremble. That handwriting was very much like the harassing letters that came to me often, and I was sure that the pervert was Robert. I ran into my room and rummaged through my old letters. Then I took the card straight to the police station to report. The police have verified that they are absolutely valid. They ransacked the luggage of Robert and discovered many women's underwear and many different photos, including my picture that was taken secretly. It was worse that he also had a picture of me sleeping in my room. I called Brenna to tell the truth with the photographed evidence and sent it over. The police originally intended to secretly catch Robert, but Brenna did not listen to me. She sent a long message and asked to break up with him. Perhaps, thanks to that, he knew he was discovered and quickly fled. Since then, I never see Robert and the appearance of that pervert anymore. A few more days I got married and had a baby. This secret has been following me through several years. Each time I went back home, I would always have a feeling that any time Robert can be reborn and harass me again. What do you think of that perverted Robert? Please leave a comment about your opinion.